Look, the instructions are here. So what we have to do, right? Instead of going through, let's follow this instruction. Look, everything is right. Let's follow this. Okay.
That they don't know how to do it. He needs to learn. Good morning. Oh, yeah, going to get more.
I don't know. Lose the concentration because of the two.
That is the program that we carried for a long time.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm sure she's not happy about it.
No, she really wanted to be here.
Look, you see this thing,
I think I just like
it has to be.
these ones are the new one ahead.
Walk them through how to set this.
Take your time, take your time. And then
Mad at you.
try.
They be mad.
He's hiding.
Yeah. He's trying to calm himself now, so.
So we have to put a ball, one of the things here, right? Oh. David, no, let's put this one so that he can hide more.
David, we didn't mean to hurt the feelings, okay?
Come over here.
Gabby, as you know, we have 3 new students, so we're gonna need to help them catch up a little bit before we go to the next step. And I told the teachers they're gonna introduce themselves, so you will come in at 10. That's okay.
Then I'm watching you.
I was supposed to do something, I forgot now.
Silver ball.
And Joshua made it to Tema. Tema, is Mr. Josh there? Mr. Josh.
Oh, okay, no, you want for,
Oh, he came out.
hey, can you let him be? Okay, yeah, this is the silver ball.
Oh, no, we can come and check it out.
These are the silver ball.
Yes. So we do it sing, we have kids in Ghana, and then they are here, so they are celebrating together.
This is Ghana.
So cool.
Thank you.
That just gave me chills. That is so cool. I love
Oh,
it.
not the silver ball. There should be silver balls and all those things. Oh, okay.
We take the exploration for us for this place.
Hey, hold on.
Isn't this amazing? Like I said, I just want a little room in the back bracket.
So what's the first one?
Come in and out. Do what I want to do.
Yeah.
This is like my dream place.
Yeah.
It's been my first time here, so
Oh,
this is amazing. I'm not gonna interrupt you anymore. This is beautiful. Enjoy your day.
You too.
Wow.
Wow.
Oh, okay. All right, go to the first one. Is that
You know, misunderstanding you, EBI, and you make that together. Away from the amount.
Yeah, that's
This guy in the China to me. The one I'm going to my exploration. I just put them in there. Maybe it will be something.
Exploration, you will need that. Gabby, you see what they are doing to you.
And then when you're done, we're gonna start the activity from here. This child,
Yeah.
David,
oh,
David, come and put yours together.
Yeah, come and check your stuff.
then you fit in all these. Then you're gonna add additional 4. The idea is that when you press, see this, which is synchronize this, when you pull this down, you pull to here, so when you out, you're gonna have all the 8 balls right now.
Needs to be set up. Remember? You know how to do it, right?
Okay, but just go through these, just take a few minutes, go through these, stories, okay?
Okay, where are we at?
So just maximize this. Right.
So. That's amazing. Good morning, everyone. Okay. Good morning. This is week 3 for Team USA. Some of us is week 2, some of us is week 1. As you can tell, we are always adding more students to our US team, which is a blessing. So we want to thank everyone for your patience, for everybody. Team Tema, you guys, I love your energy today. Just wave, Tema, can you hear me? Can Tema hear me? They cannot. Okay. Jessica, tell them what I'm saying. Tema, can you hear me? Oh, they can't.
No, we can't hear you.
Okay. Francia, can you hear me? I just wait if you can hear me.
Yes.
Okay, awesome. And I don't see a draft. Team Kampala, team, was it Cairo? I don't see. Okay. Okay. So we will give our leaders the chance to introduce themselves. So we will start with Francie leaders. If you can please come on the screen, Mr. Romeo and your team, to just give us a little bit about you, what you do outside of EBI, and anything that you feel like sharing. I don't know, Gabby is good with those questions.
I think we did that.
The teachers.
Oh,
Yeah, so it's for teachers today.
so Gabby, tell them what you want.
Well, I guess they can introduce their name, what they do as like for their profession, and I don't know, something that they like to do like outside of their profession.
Yeah, that's nice. Okay, so Mr. Romeo he's always hiding. That's why we are calling him out today. Hey, can I say, Fatima, we like your belt. We like your steam belt. Okay. Mr. Romeo. Okay. Can I hear you? You're on mute.
Good morning. My name is Stephen Raymond. I'm a teacher at Franti MAGHS, and I'm also a facilitator in the EBI team, Franti.
Thank you, Mr. Romeo. Anybody else with you today that they wanna?
The only one here.
Okay,
Just on their way coming because of the rain.
okay, okay. Thank you so much. So we will move to Impala. Thank you, Mr. Romeo. So Mr. Romeo has been very, very supportive of our students, I would say. He's very selfless in really availing himself, one, connecting the students to the community, and also above all, giving sometimes even his room so the kids can meet, so that they can learn. That is something that we won't say most Africans do, but we are thankful for his help to help us keep going. We want to also open it up to Ejura. Is Ejura available? If not, we will move to Tema. Tema. Mr. Blade, Antonana.
Okay, hello. Can I talk now? Hello, everybody. This is Nana of Child Initiative Foundation. And then what else do we?
Auntie Nana, we don't see your face. But if you, so your name, what you
Okay. My name and what else? What information do you need?
Your profession and some of the things that you enjoy in Ghana or outside of your profession. Anything, your hobbies or things that you like.
Oh, okay. Titi, come and make them see my face. I have to stand well. Okay. Okay, no, I have to step back. Huh? Okay.
Awesome. Now we can
so that. Can you see my face now?
Yeah.
Okay. My name is Nana Eisen, and I'm the founder of Child Initiative Foundation. My hobbies are, let's say, politics and and charity work. I love charity work. I love to help. So that's a mistake. And I'm very handy. I like the arts. I do a lot of art projects like crocheting and all that kind of stuff. In my free time, as I said, I like to help. So I'll end it right there. Thank you.
Thank you. So Auntie Nana is the brain, I would say the person, the reason why EPI is in Tema. He's the one that pushed that, and she's still be the one pushing us to stay in Tema. So we want to thank her for all her dedication for these kids. She loves them and she shows up every day just so that they can make it a mix. Anyone in Tema that, thank you, Auntie Nana, anyone in Tema that also wants to introduce themselves. Mr. Blade, it's Auntie, right?
Come and say something to them.
Okay.
Okay. Hello. My name is Segris Ablade, and I'm a private IT personnel. I work with Vibe Tech Technology, and I like soccer, music, and emceeing. Yeah, that's what I do.
Also, your MC too. That's nice. That's nice. So it's nice to be getting to know. So you guys are getting to know all the people that are pushing EBI, right? Thank you, Mr. Vlad. There's so much. It's good. I just love when I can see your face. Thank you. Thank you. So now, Edra, it's Edra.
This is Kevin Akule from Rural Smile Foundation. I'm here today to see my people how they are faring. I think they are doing good here.
Thank you. Thank you. It's good to see your face. It's been a long time. And dear babe. Thank you. And where's Prof?
Prof is here.
Okay. Hi, Prof.
I say do, and then a facilitator at it, but I think most of us know me already. I have no that much to say about myself. Thank you.
Thank you. So Mr. Yaya is the director for EBI Ghana. And you can see Mr. Musa also.
My name is Musa Mohammed. You can call me Ideas. A teacher at RC and a facilitator in the graduate.
Thank you. Thank you, Musa. It's always, see, I'm happy to see how you guys are doing. I wish we were in person with you all. So this is a nice, last year, it was all of us in person, but this year we couldn't make it, but we are hoping that next year we will be there in person. Thank you all. I don't know if there's anybody else that want to talk, our leaders. If not,
Please, we have my Vida is around.
Okay, I should invite everybody. Ms. Vida likes to stay behind. She likes to be behind the scenes, pushing stuff. Ms. Vida.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Hi. Can you? Good morning. Nice to see you all.
Nice seeing you too. I teach. I'm a teacher in the school. And my hobbies are listening to music and then dancing.
We know you like to dance. That's good. One of these days, we'll be a dancing competition.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Listening to good music.
Awesome. So Ms. Vida is, I think I'm not mistaken, the assistant principal, right? The assistant headmistress at community 7 or 5 primary school.
Yeah, #1 basic.
Yes. When Auntie Nana connected us, it was because of all the amazing things that she does in the school. And I was like, you gotta come and meet up. And I would say, when I was going, I had no intention of starting EBI in Ghana, but meeting her and that dedication, excitement that she had, we just had to start something. So thank you guys so much for opening the door for EBI and also helping these kids. And it's one thing I like about Ms. Vida is that she doesn't need to show up, but she shows up. And she doesn't just, when she shows up, she's still with her kids and she works with them. And that alone, I would say, between Chemao, thank you so much for just, you humble yourself with these kids. Thank you. I appreciate you guys.
Life, even the children's life as well.
Thank you. Thank you
so
so
much. Have really embraced the project. And
we are happy.
Everybody wants to cash in. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you. We hope to grow. As we get more funding, we will grow more. Thank you. So, Gabby, also introduce yourself, our instructor for the summer.
Hello, my name is Gabrielle Gross. You guys can call me Gabby. I am going into 12th grade And I'll be working with you guys with the Turing Tumble this summer.
Thank you. So what is 12th grade in Ghana, Tony? Tony, what is 12th grade in Ghana?
Of next year, she's going to university.
Also, just SS3. So Miss Gabby equivalent is SS3 in Ghana. Okay, so yeah. And she is getting ready for college. Miss Gabby is, I would say, a computer scientist, even though doesn't want to claim all that. She loves coding, computer science, all those amazing stuff. And she's outside of EBI, which she would not ask. She also mentors and teaches some kids during the summertime also. And she has been very instrumental helping us with our summer camp, because what you guys are learning, Uncle Tony and I can help you guys. Straight up. So Miss Gabby is saving us a lot. And we want to thank her for her time and dedication. Hopefully, if next year it is not busy, she might even come with us to Ghana for our summer camp. Okay. So Ms. Gabby, the floor is yours. Thank you so much.
Okay. Well, good morning, Team USA, and good afternoon, Team Ghana. Welcome to week 2 of the Turing Tumble. Today, we're going to go over a quick review question, and then we're going to go over the objectives for today, and we'll move on from there. So, please can you enable me to share my screen? Thank you. So, first, our recap question. I do want to hear people answer the question, so if I hear silence, I will call on a specific location. So, last week we worked with the green ramps. These are the green pieces, and the blue and red balls. What component of an electrical computer has similar functions to the ramps? Does anyone remember? How about Team USA? Does anyone remember?
Are you guys reading the question? Do you understand what you're saying?
Should I repeat the question?
Yes, please.
Okay, so instead of mechanical computer, think of an electronic computer. What part of an electronic computer has the same function as the ramps that we use for the Turing Tumble?
CPU.
CPUs? Not quite. But that's a very good guess. Something a bit more broad. And they're not just found in computers. Pardon?
System unit.
Nope, not quite, but that's a very good guess. Actually, the ramps simulate the wires. The green ramps have similar functions to the wires, which are found in electronic computers, since they both direct things in a specific direction. The only difference between the ramps and wires is that since the ramps are part of our mechanical computer, they direct the blue and red balls, while wires, since they are part of electronic computers, they direct electricity.
Do you guys get it? We want to make sure you get it before we go to the next step. Team USA, did you get what she was saying? What did she say? Can somebody repeat it?
Says that the parents program are using internet for computers for the transfer to revenue for the electrical computers detect electricity.
Okay, so she's saying this is just like having wires in your computer, right? Because it sends signals, right? Miss Gabby, that's what he said, right?
It directs.
It
The ramp
directs.
directs the ball in a specific location, just like in a wire. When the wire is facing one way, the electricity will go that way as well.
Okay, so we want to make sure that when we start coding and all that computer programming, you understand how this connects to that, right? Okay, thank you, Miss Gabby.
So for today's objectives, first, we're going to learn about the crossovers, the orange crossovers, which are these parts. And we're going to compare it to a part, an electrical computer part with similar functions. Then we'll talk about the bits, the blue ones, and we'll also explore computer logic and talk about if statements. And finally, we'll get to the fun part and we'll go over challenges 5 through 10. We'll be doing challenges 5 and 6 together, and then I'll let you guys try out the rest on your own in groups. So for the orange crossovers, they are used to swap the path that the balls are traveling. So when the ball is dropped from the left side of the board, it would exit from the right side of the crossover. So if it enters through here, it'll exit from the opposite side. And if the ball is dropped from the right side of your board, it'll exit from the left side of the crossover. So if the ball enters from here, it'll exit out from the left. In an electronic computer, crossovers represent wires just like the green ramps. The only difference is that crossovers are more like 2 different wires that cross over each other but do not touch. So one wire is going in one direction and another wire is going the other direction, but the electricity doesn't touch at any time. It's kind of like when you plug up different wires into an outlet. If they cross over each other, that is basically a crossover, but the electricity is not touching. Does everyone understand?
Do you understand what she said? Are you sure? I don't think.
No.
So this is what she's
Okay.
saying. Sorry, let me explain it.
Yes.
Okay. So this is what she's saying.
AUX mode.
See this right? Now, when the ball comes from this side, right, it goes out to the opposite side. Okay, so if it comes through this side, then it exits the opposite side. In a computer, what happens is that you don't have this piece in a computer. This is mechanical, but in a computer, which is electronics, what happens is that you have a wire going this way, then another wire can cross over it or go over it, okay? But whichever direction it is, the wires don't touch. Whatever is going through the wires don't touch, okay? So this is mechanical, but in a computer, which is electronics, you have wires going, crossing over each other, but whatever electricity is flowing through it doesn't touch. Is that clear now?
Anybody have a question?
Do you have a question?
Tema, Francis, Edra, do you guys get it? Please, you mind watch with me.
Yes, madam.
What did he say? The goal is not to rush, right? The goal is for you guys.
Can you go back a bit?
Okay. So you see this piece right here? This orange piece?
The orange piece.
Can you all see this orange piece?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this orange piece, what it does is that when the ball comes in through one side, it exits on the opposite side. Okay, so if you come in through the right, it will exit on the left. If it comes in on the through the left, then it exits on the right. Okay, now we try to compare this to what we have in a computer. As you know, computer is an electronic device, right? It's not based on this mechanical piece. So in the electronics, what happens is that you have wires. I mean, there's so many wires that makes up what we call a circuit. Okay, now the way the wires are set is that you could have a wire going this direction and another wire going crossing over it in the other direction. Now, whatever is flowing in any of those wires do not touch. Okay, if it does, then you have a breach or a short, as we usually call it. Okay, so what you need to know is that this mechanical piece, this orange piece, right, is similar to what you have in electronics, whereby you have wires crossing over each other in different directions. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Please, my question.
For me or for the professor, right?
No.
Madam, please, I have a question.
Okay.
So please, what is the name of the crossover in the
The name of the crossover in an electrical computer? Was that your question?
Please come again.
Was your question asking what the name of a crossover in an electrical computer?
Yeah, that was it.
Okay, well, there isn't a specific name since it's just two different wires. So they are basically wires, but instead of being one wire, it's two separate wires that cross. So it's still a wire. But instead of it just one wire directing electricity, there are two different wires directing electricity in opposite paths. Does that answer your question?
Yes, please.
Any more questions? Okay. So bits and logic. The bit is the blue piece where if you point it in one direction, the ball will also go in the opposite direction, but it is different from the crossovers. We will cover this more in next lesson, but today we're going to go over the basics. First, the blue bit is just like a mechanical switch. They allow you to choose which direction the ball is going to roll off based on how they're pointed. So if you position it like this, if it's positioned pointing to the right, the ball will go to the left. And if it's positioned pointing to the left, then the ball will go to the right. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Can you
Okay.
repeat your name, please?
So for the blue bit, its function is similar to the crossover, but not exactly. If you position it to the left, to the right, then the ball will push it to the left and move to the left. And if you position it to the right, then the ball will move and fall to the left. And the difference between the crossover and the bit is that once the ball pushes it down, it stays in that opposite direction. So if it's already positioned left and the ball pushes it down to the right, then it's going to stay to the right until another ball pushes back to how it was before. Does that make sense?
Yes, please.
Okay. So in an electrical computer, this triphasic switch is known as a transistor. In an electrical computer, the transistors are usually very tiny and sometimes can be the size of a pinky fingernail. So that is a very small electronic piece. Any questions? Nope. Okay. So
Question.
what the bits do?
Sorry, question.
There's a question? Yeah.
What is a transistor or what does it do? She just explained it. Do you understand that?
A transistor kind of.
No, I'm asking them over here. I don't think anyone really
Oh, okay.
what you said. Do you understand what a transistor is? Okay, so what does it do? Or what is a replica of it in Torrington? Yeah, it's the blue one. Yeah. Okay. Do you all understand that? Okay, sorry, go ahead.
Okay. So what the bit does is it introduces logic into our mechanical computer. And what computer logic is a series of like operations or mathematical calculations that is performed in hardware or software. And this adds the intelligence to the computer. It starts asking questions and determining whether things are true or false. The type of logic that is shown below is called temporal logic. And temporal logic introduces truth and time. So it adds questions like, is the system off or on? And although in the photo, there are many different terms such as ones or zeros, which is binary, and binary is a language that computers use to communicate. Yes or no, or and nor, and etc. They all perform the same function. And what they do is to confirm where something is true or false. So 1 is true and 0 is false. Yes is true and 0 is false. And as you progress, it gets a bit more complicated, but that is the basics of logic. When we use the bits, we are dealing with binary because the bits store information. It's not much information. It just stores whether the ball is in one position and changes it to another. But if we take a bunch of these parts, we can combine them together and create and start representing numbers, letters, or anything else. Any questions?
Do we get it?
Did you guys see that? What is the take which thing?
Want to make sure you guys get it. Ghana, Team Ghana, Franche, Edra, Cairo, Tema. Are we getting it? It's gonna get more complicated. So
Yes, madam.
So can you elaborate or give me how do you understand what you just said?
Can you elaborate more on it?
See?
Okay. So for logic is basically adding like questions to your system. Before, when we were just using the ramps, the ball was just going in one direction. It was either going left or right, depending on how we positioned the ramp. When we add the crossovers, the ball was still going left or right, despite it crossing from one end and exiting out the other. There wasn't really any like decision being made. It was just following a path, basically. But once we add the bit, then it allows the ball to kind of, well, since it's mechanical, we're really not asking anything. But if the ball, really what we're saying is if the ball is on the bit and the bit is positioned right, then the ball should travel left. And if the bit is positioned left, then the ball shall travel right. So we're kind of adding those questions and checking, we're adding kind of like a guess and not a guess and check, but kind of like a check system into our computer. So it's not just running in one direction, following a path. We're adding like the intelligence in our computer. Does that make sense?
Can somebody help re-explain what you just said? Don't be shy. We want to make sure you get this.
Yes, madam.
Okay, help explain what she just said.
Frederick, we can't hear you.
Does everyone understand?
No, Frederick, we can't hear you. All right, let me explain again.
Okay.
Okay. So remember I talked about. Sorry. We talked about crossover earlier. Okay. Now crossover is something like this. So in electronics, right? This represents the wire. Okay, these are wires. Now, if electricity is flowing through this, right? You can see it will go all the way. If you come in here and exit here. Same thing, if electricity is coming in this way, then it goes out this way. As you can see, these two, the one coming this way, the one coming this way, they are not gonna meet, right? Because electricity is flowing through this, let's call this tunnel, right? It's flowing through here. So this is never gonna meet. Now, similarly, you see this thing? Acts somehow in a similar way. When you tilt it this way, right? Right now I'm tilting it to my left, right? It means the ball is gonna hit the right, okay? If I tilt this to the right, it means the ball is gonna hit my left when it's dropping. So it's something like that crossover, but this has intelligence of, or this has, you're able to tilt it to the left or to the right, depending on what you want, okay? So this can move left, right, unlike the crossover, which is static. So ball comes in left, exits right. Ball comes in right, exits left. You can't change that. But with this blue piece, you can turn it, tilt it this way or this way, depending on what you want to achieve. Okay? Do you all understand that? Okay. All right. You can go ahead, Debbie.
So we're going to try to turn this and relate it into programming. So a way of adding logic into computer science and programming is through using an if statement. And an if statement is asking the system a series of questions to check if a condition is met. Like if this is done, then do this. Or if this is true, then do this. And coding, if we're checking if something is not true, we say else. So if this is true, then do this, else do this. Or if not, do this. Bits can also function like this. On the left side of the screen, it says if bit is direction right. So if the bit is facing right, then send ball left. It's sending the ball to the left. So it's asking the question, is the bit facing right? If the bit is facing right, then the ball will be sent to the left. Else, or if not, then if the bit is facing left, it'll ask the system the question and send it to the right. Does that make sense?
team in Ghana, do you all understand that?
Yes, Tema, we do.
Okay, can somebody help us understand what you understand? We want someone to, I will say, summarize what Ms. Gabby is.
All right, what she explained, or what she just tried to explain, is that in computer programming, we have what we call if statements, if statements. And what that means is that it makes you make a decision. If this happens, then do this. If this happens, then you do this. Else, you do something else. Okay? So example is what do you do all the time? Okay. Let's look at this example. If you are hungry, what do? You eat. So that's an if statement. You only eat when you are hungry, right? So if you are hungry, you eat. What happens when you are not hungry? You don't eat. So that will be your else. If you are hungry, you eat. Else, you don't eat. So that's kind of logic we are trying to explain to you here. And they're using that through this. Okay? So if I tilt this to the left, basically what I'm saying is that if this blue piece is tilted to the left, what happens to the ball that drops in? The ball comes in on the right. Okay? If I tilt this to the right, then the ball comes in where? On the left. Okay? So that's what we mean by if statements. Okay? If something happens, then this should happen. Yeah, this should trigger this, or this should occur. And if the opposite happens, then the opposite of what happened there should occur. You all understand the if statement now?
Just like a light switch.
Yes.
If I turn it on, if it's dark or whatever, I turn it on, then let the light comes on. Does it make sense? You don't turn it on, the light is not gonna come on. So up, down, whatever, you are giving a command, and there's a logic behind why the light is coming on or why the light is going off. Are we good? Miss Gabby, did I help? We are trying to help you. You have to send me my pay.
Do you all understand that? You understand the if statement?
The if.
Okay?
Okay.
All right. Because you're gonna be using these blue pieces for your the task from task 5 to 10.
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to pause here. So the reason why we are crazy about you guys getting this, when we go on the computer where you get to start coding or doing computer programming and stuff, if you don't understand why you are putting those computer language in place, you are not going to understand. You are just going to just be creating without any sense or without any motive. Doesn't make sense. So if you know, you put a command and then you're gonna get an output. So this is where the logic comes in, okay? Are we good, Ms. Gabby?
Yeah.
Okay.
I do want to explain something else about
Okay.
if statements.
Thank you.
The if statement that you see on the left is just one of many ways you can write an if statement. The way an if statement looks depends on the programming language that you're using. But the only thing is that no matter which programming language you're using, you're still asking the same question. For example, if I say if x is greater than 5, and x is a variable, which is used in programming to store information, just like the bits. then you're going to subtract 1. Else, or if x is not greater than 5, you're going to add 3. I do want to mention about variables that a variable does not just have to be x. A variable can be a letter like A, B, Y, Z, or it can be words such as like food, happiness, fun. It depends on what you set your variable as. And depending on which coding language you use, this if statement of checking if x is greater or bigger than 5, then you can write a code like this. This is Java. This is one of many programming languages, but it's still asking the same thing. If x, which can be any value, in this case, we're working with numbers. So let's say if x is 10, then if x is bigger than or greater than 5, you're going to take away 1, you're going to subtract 1. Or if x is not bigger than 5, you're going to add 3 to x. So if we were to solve this, then since x is bigger than 5, we're going to subtract 1, so x will now be 9. Else, let's say if x is not 5 and if x is not 10, and if x is, let's say, 1, 1 is not bigger than 5. So then we're going to add 3 to 1, so x is now 4. Does that make sense? This is something we'll be doing next week, Saturday, so I'll explain it more.
Okay.
But does everyone kind of understand, like just in general, how if statement works?
Anyone, everybody get it? So give an example of an if statement, something in your own life.
If you like before you would go like do something if you weren't able to do it.
Awesome.
You would sleep, you would go to sleep. Would not go to sleep.
Awesome. And then, CJ, you don't have any example? If your hair is grown, you're gonna cut it. If it's not grown, you don't cut it. Or you braid it, right? You shave your hair. Yes, eat that.
If you study for a test, you could have a higher grade on.
If you don't study, then you fail. Okay. Cool beans. Yes. Rebecca? Paige, sorry. Forgive me, Paige. Somebody else.
If you stink, you should go take a shower.
Okay. Okay. So Paige, if you stay, you take a shower. David, if you don't stay, what is your age? If you're happy, you dance. If you're not happy, you don't dance. Right? Or if you're bored, you destroy stuff.
I have a question.
Yes, what is your question?
Wait, if you're bored, you will find something to do.
You don't do anything.
Was there a question from Tema?
Yeah, Tema.
Yeah, go ahead with the question.
I am crazy. Is it the computer that uses the if statement or is the user?
The computer uses the if statements to check if something is true or false, or if something is there or not. But it's the user that actually types in the if statement to get it to work. So if you don't type in the if statement into your code, then it's not going to check anything automatically. But once you type it in, it's the computer doing the checking, not you.
So to add, if I press the on button, then it turns on. Does it make sense? If I press enter, then you go to the next line. Am I helping a little bit? with the if, because the user is the one giving the if command. That if I press enter, then let the line go to the next line or the next place. If I press the on button, then let the computer turn on. So you, the user, you have to put in those commands to make it work. Any more questions?
Yes. Does the computer logic deals with mass calculations by hardware or software only?
Come again with that question. Mention your name first, okay? So,
Please, I am Kezia.
hi, Kezia. Ask your question.
Does the computer logic deals with mass calculations performed by hardware or software only?
Okay, Mr. Gabby. So she wants to know that does the computer logic only deals with software only or hardware only? Or
Computer logic can
Yes.
be with both. It can be with both. And well, mathematical, it is more common to see like you using computer logic for math with software, because that is the actual like electronic part of the computer. So that's like if you type in something, or if you type in all of these things, then it would do something using a math calculation. If you're using hardware, which is like the actual parts of the computer, it won't be as mathematic, since it's usually checking like if this is plugged in, then do this. Or if this is connected, then do this. If not, then do something different. Does that answer your question?
Yes.
Okay. We're going to get into all the mathematical calculations and logic next Saturday, because that's the next part of the Turing tumbles. Any more questions? Okay, well, now to the part that you've all been waiting for. We're going to get to the challenges. So how many of you guys have finished challenge 5 and challenge 6?
Raise up your hand if you've already done.
Tim, I did with challenge 5 and challenge 6.
Okay. We don't.
Carol, we are also done.
Okay, you guys have to say that. What is it called? Screenshot or something. We didn't even see your stuff. Yeah, we have to know that you're not making story stuff.
Oh, you have everything. You don't have 5 and 6.
So does everyone understand how they got the solution, or do you guys want me to go over it?
Please go over it.
Okay. Can everyone see my board?
Yeah.
Okay. So challenge 5 is on page 21. Is everyone on page 21? We're gonna go through the challenge 5 and challenge 6 together. If it's already done, then you guys can just leave it there and we'll run it together. I have to set up my board then.
What is the outcome?
Do it.
Yeah, so is that.
Okay, Gabby.
Yep.
So I was trying to find out how I can make you bigger. Is this online? Okay. Okay.
Did everyone who's following set up their board kind of like this?
Yes, let's wait. We do have done this.
This is when they say that the fault is in your computer.
If it's not working, you can touch it. You see the no, that is not about. This is not about.
So what color is that? What number is that?
Okay, is everyone who's following set up?
Yeah.
Okay.
Are we doing chapter 5?
Yes,
Yes,
this is 5.
yes,
Challenge
I'll
5.
Challenge 5.
Okay.
This is, what is not five? Okay.
How many grade did they ask you to use for 5?
So for challenge 5,
9.
you're only supposed to use 9 of the ramps.
Oh.
And our output is supposed to be an alternating pattern of blue, red, blue, red, blue, red, until you finish all of the marbles that are at the top.
Whatever is not needed, simply.
So in order to get that,
Doesn't make sense. This place is not needed. It's more than 9.
first,
More than 9.
you need to add a path to get the red balls into your system.
Yeah, but it's more than 9.
And then
They're trying to be ahead of the game. Oh. So you just not like 9.
gonna create a pathway for the red ball to travel. So something like this.
No. This, you see, this way. Because of putting all this,
yeah,
then you now need 9 of this in
to
addition.
get the whole thing. They give you the, okay, this is the starting.
Yeah, they will not use.
Okay, sorry.
Did everyone set up their board? Team USA, how's it coming along?
I'm the one that's making
I can't see your board, so I can't tell.
Oh, okay, so you, when you finish turn it around so Miss Gabby can see, okay?
Hey, wait, are you sure? It's something different.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Emma, some of us are done.
Okay, turn around, let's see, so Miss Gabby can also see. Let me highlight people who are done, so you will see everybody's work. You are done.
So for those who have completed the challenge, the book says that the press to start key should go in the blue ramp or the blue lever. So you're gonna press to start and see if your system runs like it's supposed to.
I can't see.
And once it's done running, it should kind of look like this, with the blue, red, alternating pattern all the way to the end. Did everyone get that?
No, wait, wait, back to me. Wait, so Miss Gabby is trying to.
Did everyone get it?
Yeah.
Okay. So we've just created a crossing pathway for the balls to travel. So when the red ball enters from the right, it travels, crosses over, and then travels through a path on the left side of your board. And if the blue ball comes from the left, it travels, crosses through the crossover, and then travels in the pathway on the right side of your board. Just like the wires, they don't touch, but they cross and go the opposite direction. Does that make sense? Okay, so challenge 6. Challenge 6 is on page 22.
No, it messed it up. I just report. Something messed up. No way you can.
You should end the rate for your ending. So
Is this the setup?
Dismantle it and let's go to challenge 6.
Pardon? Did everyone set up the board? For
Yes.
challenge 6?
Mhm.
Okay. So for challenge 6, we can only use 2 green ramps and 5 crossovers. So 2 green ramps and 5 crossovers. Gonna take our ramps. Going to add a pathway for the ball to follow and travel. Then we're gonna add a crossover in the middle of this path. Like this.
Summer is done.
Okay.
Please, we are done with the 6.
So you run it.
Madam, please, we are done.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's see. Where is
Please, we are done.
So this system works as wires that keep on crossing. So the ball, if the red ball comes, the red ball will fall and keep on crossing until it reaches the opposite side, while the blue ball will go and keep on crossing until it reaches the opposite side. So this is another crossing path that we've created.
Yes, I'm done.
Oh, challenge 7. How many of you guys have tried challenge 7?
Please come again.
How many of you guys have tried challenge 7? Challenge 7 is on page 23.
Then why didn't you take it out?
That's ready.
Team USA, are you guys still working?
Yes, Team USA is still working.
Okay, I'll leave the board up then.
Thank you.
We are down. Then I'm going to challenge 7.
Once you guys are finished with challenge 5, you can move on to challenge 7. Or challenge 6, you can move on to challenge 7. Sorry. Seven, you're trying to get 8 blue balls to the finish for your output. And you're only using 6 of the green ramps.
No.
Team USA, did you guys finish challenge 6?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So we are coming to do 7.
Kenya is done with challenge 7.
Okay.
So look at 7. And we start with look at the outcome.
Yeah, done.
Oh,
Okay.
well. The USA is coming around.
Madam, please, we are done with the challenge 7.
Okay.
That's making us look bad.
Can we release it?
Yes, you can release it when you're done. I'm still setting up. So.
You're making us look bad. Address. Be careful.
Amy.
Everyone get this? See if it runs.
Yes, yeah, Mama, atim, mama back one. Yeah, but yeah, one more video.
So did everyone get challenge 7?
So you're gonna use the ability for syntax, so you can use more than 14. You can use less than. Okay.
That's on your computer. That's computer bridge. Bridge.
Team USI, I haven't heard from you guys. You still working on challenge 7?
Yeah.
No.
Where you guys at? 8. Oh, right there.
For those of you who are finished, you guys can move on to challenge 8. Challenge 8 is on page 26.
Wow.
Sama is on challenge 8.
Okay.
You can stir your stuff around okay, so people can see. CJ and Aiden.
You guys can test it. Once you're done with challenge 8, you can run it and see if it actually gets the output.
Frederick, you say.
Good job.
Sama is done with challenge 8.
You guys can leave challenge 8 once you're done. If you already ran your system, you can move on to challenge 9.
So you have to know how to put this for this So this will come here, right? It will come and it will drop it.
The ball can also
jump here.
You need something to
Make it
jump in
jump.
here. Okay.
We have it. No. Yeah.
You have to look at it.
You have to look at how it flows. So if this, yes, and it will drop that way. Okay. Then when it drops this way,
If it comes in here, it goes out here. If it
so
comes in here,
it will go correct. Correct. Then you have
This one here is the solution to challenge 8 if you haven't finished it yet.
yeah. When it comes here, how does it go? You're fine. Yep. We'll do the same thing for this one. So this one, when it comes out, we'll tell So you can do. In the book, yes, okay.
How many people are still working on challenge 8?
In the book, yeah.
This age, right?
Then they will still. You get and try it. That is how we have to do.
Okay, I'm moving on to challenge 9. Does anyone still need challenge 8 up?
Yeah.
Okay.
Please, we are done with the 8.
Okay. You guys can move on to challenge 9.
Okay.
So starting with which one? So it comes here. When you press it, it goes this way.
For challenge 9, the pattern does change. You're supposed to get 2 blues, then 1 red, and 2 blues, then 1 red. And that's repeats until you finish all the blues.
Yeah, remember, so right now.
And you use 18 green ramps.
This is what 10 or 9. This is 3. We are done.
Okay. Did you guys run it?
Until we are done with 9.
Once you finish 9 and you run it and it produces the required output, you can move on to 10.
Yeah, but when you drop this way, right? When the
So you can move to 9. You can take a picture of this.
Right, so
Yeah,
you need
take a
something
picture of
here.
and just label it as 8.
Right, to hold it. To hold that.
So move
That
on.
is not, so when the time will come this way, yeah, you can also come this way.
Time when game. I have ordered 5 more coming, so everybody will have one okay. But I want you guys to see this sister. So it's what happened to the other one.
Okay. It becomes this way.
Did everyone get this for
13.
challenge 9?
Wow.
No.
Okay. I think it's when challenge 3. I'm like, wow. That's
Yeah. Also, we'll drop this page.
If you guys finish challenge 10, don't move on past that because that's when we get into the actual addition part and the mathematical part of the Turing templates.
Then whatever. Something that has no the other way because behind it and this one over here. Yep.
oh, yeah. You stay home doing it. You home and you throw it away. We have more things outside. Okay. I believe you.
No, the other way. Okay.
We are done with challenge 10.
Okay.
Hey, you guys are awesome. I hope you get it. I hope you understand why we are doing this.
So you know where.
Right now, we're still creating a pathway for the balls to travel, but once we move on past challenge 10, that's when we'll actually get into like the mathematical part of it. So we're still creating a pathway. With the bits, we're adding the slight bit of logic, like, okay, if it's pointing to the right, the ball will go to the left. And if it's pointing to the left, the ball will go to the right. But that's changing every time.
That's to start with a blue ball.
So,
But we have to start with a blue ball. But we understand the concept. Let it all finish and let's do it.
Madam, please, we are done with challenge 9.
Awesome.
okay.
Take a
If
break.
you understand how to get there, then you can move on to challenge 10.
Now we are done with challenge 10.
Okay.
Once you're done with challenge 10, don't move on because then it's not just getting a specific output anymore. It's actually calculating things.
Yeah, challenge 10 is the last challenge for today. So
We are done with challenge 10.
okay.
Okay.
Well, after all this, we'll continue back on the home from your house.
That's the beauty about it, you know? I'll give you her number, okay? So you guys did from 1 to 29. You didn't skip anything. Okay.
Team USA, what challenge are you guys on?
Oh, these people, they'll call you Gabby, okay? They are in a different league or whatever. So they'll call you. Yeah, they'll call you. They are on challenge 29, but they're having difficulty, so they'll call you. So you can, yeah. Because they've been practicing in the house. Yeah.
Got it.
Actually, we have done with challenge 10.
Challenge 8 or 10?
Challenge 10 is the last challenge we're doing today.
Yes.
Yeah, we can't go to 29. Or we can't go to 29.
29. No, they are stuck. Yeah. See? No, no. Let me say that. We want you guys to understand what is this. So from this, we're gonna be doing computer programming. Does it make sense? This is programming right now. So we wanna now move from this and go to computer. So when you get this, it will make my life easier. Well, I mean, this guy is like easier about this thing. We don't want you to skip. They didn't skip anything. They didn't. They went through one. Yeah, they went through it. They went through every step.
If you skip one challenge, you may come across the same problem in a different one, but more complicated. So skipping is not the best thing to do.
Everybody online, they have an online community out there with that. They can join. And everybody online talks about if you skip, you end up being in trouble along the road. So stay focused. Yeah, I think if everybody is in USA, they want to be, it will stay, meet us in the house. We have to all get sick. And I was gonna say, why didn't we get to USA flag too? That's the thing. Yeah. We do. We are repping you guys. See how we are making you guys in Ghana. No. We have yeah, so we have to get Panama flag and also Ghana flag. Let me get other Panama flag right now. You don't like Nigerian?
Well, after you finish the challenge 10, that's all for today.
Yes.
I would say try to remember the few things that we learned today, because next week, Saturday, before we start anything, we're going to play a quick review game with the stuff we learned. It's going to have more questions than the ones we've done before, since we learned so much. Any questions?
Any questions? Any statement, question from Ms. Gabby? Francis?
Yes, madam.
Okay, what is it?
I want to ask that the balls, what is the name in the electronic computer?
The ball is just like the electricity in an electronic computer. So while the ball is going through the system, it's kind of simulating electricity running through a computer. So like the blue ball is one current of electricity and the red ball is another current of electricity.
Please come again.
He said,
okay,
just like the electricity passes through the wires, right? As the ball is passing through the board, it's electricity passing through. Does it make sense?
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Any other questions? Someone's asking a question. I cannot hear you.
Let's be nice.
Team USA, I can't hear a question from Tema.
Sorry, let me mute Team USA. Sorry.
Please, she's coming to ask a question.
Okay, so you can ask a question now.
Does the start button on the mechanical computer act the same like the start button on the electrical computer?
Does the touch button or?
Start button.
I can't hear you. Please, can you repeat?
Okay. I said, does the start button on the mechanical computer act the same like the start button on the electrical computer?
When you press the start button on the mechanical computer, you're telling the system to run. So when coding, if you press like the start button, you would start running your code. So yes, it has similar functions because you're actually starting the system. Just like if you turn on the power button of your computer will turn on. Does that answer your question?
Yes, please. Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions?
Keep the question coming. It helps me to understand you get it. Thank you.
Are those all the questions?
Okay. Can you say any question for her? Okay. So next week is going to be career day, right? So next week we're gonna have working professionals join us. So any question that you have, bring it. You can text whatever it is. So you get to ask. You get to ask them how they end up in that career that they ended up. And then I know on the 6th, Tema and the Team Ghana, you're going on your field trip. But on the 6th, Team USA will continue with the coding stuff. And then when you guys come, you'll continue with us, right? And then after this, we're not going to be done. We will continue until we finish the training tumble. As Ms. Gabby and Uncle Tony and Uncle Nee, we will meet up and see how we can transition from this to a computer programming or coding or something like that. So we are not going to be done. We will keep up going until we finish all the puzzles. So it's scary. I'm scared. I'm not even gonna lie.
I have a question.
Yes.
What's the essence of us learning how to play the turning tambour?
Anybody? This question is for anyone. What is the essence of creating the turning tambour? Anybody? What is the goal? What is the motive? Why? Go ahead.
Just to get it to the
Answer.
Go ahead. To finish up, I'll just to like know better programming engineering.
Thank you. Do you guys hear what she said? So, okay, if you heard, repeat it. Oh, help me. They couldn't hear her, so repeat it so they can hear.
All right, so the purpose here, while we are doing all this, the purpose is to transition this into coding. Okay, that's our destination. We want to write computer programs to solve problems. Okay, now when you're writing computer programs, it's virtual. It's not something you see. Okay, you can write it, but when you implement it, you don't really see it in the computer. Okay. On your calculator, if you punch in 1 + 1, do you know what goes on behind the scene? Do you know what electrical circuits gives you, provides the answer? You don't. So the reason why we are doing all this is for you to have a feel of all these, hey, listen, okay? The reason why we are having all these, like the crossovers, like the logic, the blue piece, the reason why we're doing this is to understand how a computer makes decisions. Okay, so at the end of the day, once we have a good understanding of this, we're gonna change that, or we're gonna transition into writing computer codes. Okay, that is the whole purpose of this. So when you start writing the codes, it won't be too much imaginary to you. You'll be able to relate it to all these things that we're doing right now. I hope that answers the question.
Yes, please. Please, I have another question.
Go ahead, keep it coming.
Okay. Can we have a different idea of building a turning table electrically?
Okay, Professor, you get a question? You are muted. Gabby, you are muted.
Can you repeat the question, please?
Okay. This I said, can we have a different idea of building a turning table electrically?
When the turning tumbles is like a visual simulation of like electrical computing and circuitry. So really in a computer, you're using the electrical parts. So like we said, the ramp is like the wires. So that's when you combine wires together, that's your part of the Turing tumble. The crossovers are wires that are overlapping and crossing each other, but not touching. So that's another part of the Turing tumble in an electrical computer. And then the bits it's the coding part of electrical computing. So once you start programming and you add the logic into your computer, that's what you're adding to your Turing tumble, just fit like in your actual computer instead of on this mechanical computer. Does that answer your question?
Please.
Any other questions?
Okay, she's done with the questions.
These are some very good questions.
Okay. So, anything else before we fall today? Before we end today's session? So, next week we are taking a break on Turning Tumble.
I have another question.
Yeah, what's the question?
Can we build another device similar to the turning tumble?
Exactly.
Another device similar to the Turing tumble. Honestly, the Turing tumble, like I said, is like a visual representation of what computers are like. So any like electrical systems like phones function similarly, their wires. And I guess like any electrical system functions similarly to the Turing tumble. Turing tumble just has parts that kind of add like that visual representation of what's inside of a computer or what's inside of your calculator or phone. Does that answer your question?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, this is a game to simulate like the electrical machines that we use today.
Okay. So, any question from you guys? So what have you guys learned throughout this process? What do you mean same thing? See it.
What do you mean by same thing?
Parts.
So what are the parts doing?
Yeah, they help in the marble.
So what is the purpose of the marbles? So in computer, what does the marble stand for? Ms. Gabby already told us.
Oh, they stand for
So in a computer, we have input and then you have out, right? Just like you, I'm sure you did that, right? When you do video games, your joystick or your controller.
Okay, Shema.
Okay, balls and your input and whatever comes out here is the output, or whatever is coming, showing up on the page. Okay, so when you're playing a game, you use your controller to move the object, right? So that's the input. So that's what you're doing here. You complete? Yeah. You have extra?
No, he needs.
No. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Come on. Can you count? Can you check for anything? Missing one? David, check it.
Oh, we can go. Oh, yeah.
It's missing one.
Yeah, but I'm actually.
You're missing two, right?
You're missing two.
Yeah, but no, I already got the one, so I'm missing one more.
You're missing one more.
One more what?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm missing one. I wasn't there when I opened it. Was it?
It's right there.
No. David. You check the back there. Maybe when you went to the back, you dropped it. Maybe when you went.
No, I haven't opened my thing yet. Wow.
We're on the line. Yeah, so.
I don't know. I hope. No. I'm just hoping you'll can get it. That's it. But thank you, Ms. Gabby. We will talk during the week to see how we can really simplify more for our students. Yeah. Because it's a fun game, but if you're not understanding the reason behind it, then yeah.
Okay, next week is career day. Then the following week we go back to talk. Okay. Yeah, I think one of the things that we do is to do something like this.
Okay.
So I'll bring one of these boards so that we can show them all the side modules. Okay.
Like a motherboard. Right?
Yeah, something like a motherboard. So we'll bring it up. Also, how to transition this to writing the code, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That did you hear?
Yes, I heard.
Yeah, how to transition this to writing code. Yeah.
Yeah, because they should be able to write it at least at the end of this program, even if it's just a few lines of
Hello world.
Yeah, 1 plus 1.
To do your own, your first blog. To create your first blog post or something, your first something. Hello world. Yeah. Yeah. So thank you. We're gonna make it. We're gonna get there. These are all what? Yeah, future engineers, computer scientists, whether they like it or not. Because I need money, and that's what I'm trying to do. Raise the next billionaires. There you go. Okay, guys, enjoy the rest of your day. We're gonna end the Zoom meeting. If you don't have any questions or any comments for us.
What time is it in Ghana right now?
Right now, what time is it in Ghana? What time is it?
Yeah,
Ah.
Hey, are you from Ghana?
So they keep the time thing for the mother. Panama. We're gonna have all the flags. I guarantee you, we're gonna have all the flags present here, except for Nigerian flag.
Okay, I have a Nigerian flag at home. I'll bring one next time. Right, Nigerian flag, right?
When the big one, they will put it on
Okay, team Cairo, team Kampala, team Francis, team Selma. You guys are doing awesome. We are gonna try to break it down more for you to get this, okay? So that when we start the coding, it will click here and you will be able to be more proactive in all those computer programming. So I think this will be a good break for Ms. Gabby to get her mathematics stuff slideshow ready. See, I'm giving you a break. Yay! So thank you guys. So enjoy the rest of your week. Don't forget, send your pictures and stuff. We will also be logging into the Google Classroom to connect. If you have any question, post over there. We will try to get it to USA more proactive on the Google Classroom. Okay, guys. So enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you guys so much. Take care. Bye.
The Zoom is still on your computer.
Charlie,